Hey,
And I'm Lad Lizzie Dollar, and you're now tuning into
it's a Sibling Thing podcast.
Yo, come on, yo. Yo, what up, guys? Welcome to Issa Sibling Thing podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Lad. Start over.
What? Just keep going.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired. All right, let me start over. All right, what else up, guys? Welcome to It's a Sibling Thing podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Lad, aka Lad Lizzie Dollar.
And I'm Jazzy J. What's up, guys?
And today is our Black Excellence Friday. And we have two special guests with us today. We got the minister, Michael Nelson, and the first lady. Say no. Say no. We got Mike the Motivator. The Nelsons in the building.
The Nelsons are here.
Nelson?
There we go. Hey, Nelsons.
How you doing, guys? How you guys doing?
Hey, I'm just saying the theme, how the podcast came on, it reminded me of a black TV show. I was like, I don't know if this is hanging with Mr. Cooper. I'm not 100%. I'm just saying.
It reminded me the Proud Family.
Family Matters.
No, it didn't remind me of that, but I think the music was like Proud Family-ish.
Yeah, I was over here.
That wasn't the instrumental, but it sounded like it.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, so like I said, today is our Black Friday. I keep saying Black Friday. Black Excellence.
Man, trying to go buy some.
is our
You trying to spend some money. I ain't mad at you.
is our Black Excellence podcast. So basically, with the whole purpose of the Black Excellence Fridays is to highlight established businesses or entrepreneurs or upcoming entrepreneurs. So today, like I said, we have our the Nelsons in the building. So before we get started, I just want you guys to give us a little background with what you guys do, and just give us a little background about what you guys do.
Ladies first.
Well, I am an event planner and event space owner. I also curate intimate events, meaning I create them, put them on for people. And then by day, I do insurance. So that's what I do.
Sounds interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I need the life that you have. My life, is short, sweet, straight to the point. So the majority and the bulk of my business is primarily speaking in high schools, colleges with educational programs. And then I also coach and train speakers as well. And that's about the size of my business.
Okay, cool. So for today, the topic is basically revolving around how did you guys survive working through the pandemic last year?
We're still working through it.
Yeah, well, still working through it, but how did you guys? How were you guys able to maneuver? With everything being shut down. Adrian, you said you were an event planner. You have an event space, so how were you able to maneuver through the shutdown and everything with your business?
I think we just had a bigger goal, so it didn't matter what we were doing. We just made sure that we kept the main thing, pretty much the main thing, which is creating a legacy for our family. That's one thing that we agree on, whether it's the current family that we have and creating a new family. We just want to make sure that there's something for them and that we're being great examples. So that was pretty much that's always been our starting point. And then the pandemic just gave us time to regroup, to pretty much think about, okay, so what is this shift going to look like? What direction are we going to go in? Because, this is our new normal. It's not anything that we can do about it. And it looked like it was going to end, and then it didn't. We're still currently in it. So you just have to kind of take it day by day and figure out what works and what doesn't work. There's some things that we thought about, some ideas that we put on our whiteboard where we brainstorm, and some things got scrapped. Some things we said, okay, well, that's going to be for the next few years and not right now. So you just kind of have to keep going and take it day by day, but also focus on what the bigger picture is, basically.
Okay. And for you, Mike?
Mike, I know with you, we were in school, so I was with you most of the time. So how did you have to shift? How did you have to
maneuver without being able to go out to the schools to speak to students and, basically doing speaking engagements?
Yeah, so I think you just had to make as Adrian said, a shift or an adjustment, pivot, however it is that you want to call it, all these buzzwords that we use now, but just putting everything online. So for people who are watching this, it just lets you know that you have to have what we call digital real estate. So you have to be able to take your business, the model of it, and be able to put it online. Like I have a homie of mine, he has his own clothing store, and he doesn't actually have a store. Like all his stuff is like automated and it's online. And so I think one of the things that the pandemic has taught us is that, you have to be able to get online. Like the world and how things are, you must find your space online. And so online stuff, you look at it, a lot of stuff, you don't need a lot to get started. I mean, of course, with you guys, you got the eCam and all the fancy cameras and stuff and all that. But to get started, you just have to work with the things that you actually have. So we had to get creative and strategic and put a lot of things online, even be more engaging because, students are like, they weren't engaged when class was going on. So, you have to get more creative. But as long as you're able to make the adjustments and just know, like at the end of the day, as long as I keep waking up every day and I keep at it, like eventually it's going to be a change and I'm going to see the shift that I want to make. So it's crazy now because I was telling somebody, I said, I've done more engagements and made more money in the middle of a pandemic virtually than I have doing things live. So I'm like, I love the energy when I'm in person, but I'm like, if I can make the same amount of money or more and I can do it in my ball shorts and my shirt, I think I might stick to that.
Not the ball shorts then.
Ball shorts and slides.
So so basically you was in the pandemic, you wasn't in the pandemic because you said you made more.
Listen, as we say, it's a pandemic, baby. Ain't no pandemic. It's a pandemic in these streets. If you know how to, strategically, make your moves.
Okay.
So, Adrian, with your event space, when all of it came about, did you feel that I know you had, if I'm not mistaken, you had got your event space in like October, correct?
Mm-hmm.
During the pandemic, talk about that, yeah.
So like you made a very distinctive move there. What made you decide, because everything was going downhill with the pandemic,
with the shutdown and everything.
What inside you decided to go ahead and just take that leap?
My husband. Because what people don't realize is that yes, I plan weddings and I plan events, but I also work a full-time job. So my mind is, I'm very task driven, I just know what it is. I have a list. I'm checking it twice. That's just it. So it's been something that I've been talking about for a while. Like I always said, I want my own, space. I want to do this. I want to do that. And
where's the event space at?
In Philadelphia, PA.
2155 Ridge Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. 19121 Adrian Nicole event space. Shameless plug, but go ahead.
Come on, get it.
I'm having my birthday party there.
So, it was just his encouragement. And then anytime I couldn't do something, literally he took me by my ankles and was dragging me. And I never thought for a second, like, oh, it's a pandemic. That was never my fear, that we were in a pandemic. My fear was more so, am I going to be able to take on this other responsibility, this second business?
Mhm.
It wasn't really like, oh, we're in a pandemic and I can't do it right now because it's a pandemic, because during the earlier months, we were seeing more income than we had seen when it wasn't a pandemic. So that wasn't my mindset. The mind was like, okay, this can definitely work, but do I have the capacity to do it? And people loved it. Of course, I'm not going to put my name on anything that doesn't look good. So when we saw the space, I immediately, like, I fell in love. He saw it before I did, and he showed it to me on FaceTime, and I was like, and I was like, all right, guys, so if this gonna work, like, if this really gonna work, you gonna have to open up this door, because I ain't walking through it, and I'm not forcing nothing or anything like that. And it just kind of boom, boom, boom with this specific space, because we had seen a bunch of them before and it just didn't work. But just taking that leap, taking that step, and when the opportunity presented itself, when that door opened, just walk through it.
It's a pandemic. That's my story, and I'm sticking to.
No. So I like how you said that you seek God before you jump in.
Oh yeah, all throughout this process. Because first of all, I was scared out my mind. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Like, this might just be too much responsibility. What's gonna be the day to day? Because I'm like, this isn't, I can take on a client if I want to.
Right.
Or I can say, no, I already have X, Y, and Z dates already kind of edged off. But it's like, if I go into this building and there's Wi-Fi, there's gas, there's electric, there's things that I have to, like, there's overhead that I actually have to pay for. Like, no, I have to make it work, because if not, then I'm going to be back out on the street. Not like I don't have anywhere to go, but I'm not going to get into this building and not do what I'm supposed to do. So I was more so afraid of the level of responsibility, and not afraid to make the money, and not afraid of the pandemic. So I think that's what made the difference for me anyway.
Okay. Moving the conversation forward, being as though that you guys are married and you both have your separate businesses, how do you guys motivate each other and kind of just motivate each other, encourage each other? Just kind of speak on that a little bit.
Oh, no.
Ladies first.
Let you go.
Well, I think, most importantly, waking up together, praying together as much as possible, and really, really putting God at the center and the forefront, and just knowing, like, hey, if it's something that I can't do, like, for example, if it's something with Ella and I where you got to get all of your inspections and things like that, and if Adrian can't be there because she works during the day, my schedule is a little bit more flexible. So I'll take on the responsibility and say, hey, let me go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and do that. And then, if I need a space to use for a little bit when I got to do a virtual presentation, Adrian will be so kind and nice to say, you know what? I'm going to give up my workspace for an hour so that you can go ahead, so that you can talk and inspire the babies. So I don't have to go to my grandma's house anymore, because she says oftentimes that I'm too loud. So I just think it's just really, really the small things. And then looking at the long term and saying, okay, the reason why we have separate businesses, and the reason why, going into things, we want to have businesses together, is because, eventually we're going to have kids. We got kids, and really, really want people to be able to, while we're not perfect, but to look at us and say, yo, you know what? This is a young Black couple who's doing amazing things, who love God. They're not perfect, but at the end of the day, if they can do it and show what's possible, then anybody else can do it. I got a cousin named Greg. He always texts me, when something good happens, he always say, yo, thank you for showing us like what's possible. So I just think it's really, really doing the small things. Like all the time, support doesn't have to be, yo, I need $5,500 loan. I need this, I need that. It could be simply like, look, I mean, that's cool and all. If somebody wants to do that, you can write me a check to Mike Nelson LLC. I will gladly cash it. I promise you. But I'm just saying though. I'm just saying though. Support can be in the small, encouraging ways, like just calling and saying, look, like you gonna make it. Like, look, what's something that you need? Can I do something for you? So I think that's just simple ways of how we've been able to encourage each other.
Adrian, you got anything to add?
That was a roundabout way, but all right. So I think some of the things that we do to encourage one another, Mike was really big on affirmations, and I'll be honest, I was not. I was like,
Money comes in 3 ways. Tell me.
Easily, frequently, and abundantly. So I was not big on it, but that's my favorite one. And then I added opportunities. So money and opportunities come easily, frequently, and abundantly. So he was big on affirmations, and I was like, why are you talking to yourself? And he's like, I'm look, this is something now that I gotta do. You should try it. So I started to do affirmations, and then we started to do them together. We pray together. Like, it's times where he's having a really bad day, and I'm like, okay, let's do our affirmations, or how can I help to, so you don't feel so stressed out, or so you don't continue to have a bad day, and so that you don't continue to spiral. Because sometimes, I don't know if this happens for you guys, but for us, a bad day can turn into a bad week. Like sometimes when that Monday start off wrong, you be trying, it's like you take all week trying to get back to normal, and it just be like, you know what, I'm gonna just chalk this week. Like, it just is what it is. So affirmations, praying with and for one another, speaking into each other's life, like just small stuff.
Got the spirit right there.
Just small stuff like, oh, today's gonna be good, or checking in with each other, like, how you feeling today, or that thing that you said you had to do, how did that go? That type of things, those type of things. So that's how we encourage one another.
Yeah, and drowning yourself in those positive affirmations. Like, a lot of people just think like it's just some psychology stuff, and I'd be like, yo, I promise you that it works, because the things that you got to do is you got to safeguard yourself from turning a bad minute into a bad hour to a bad day, a bad 24 hours to 48 hours. Then before you know it, you have a bad week. And so this is why you got to drown yourself in positivity, and drown yourself and say, look, I'm going to affirm these things, because eventually what you start to say, eventually what you start to think, you start to say. And whatever it is that you say, you start to feel. And then whatever you start to feel, you start to behave. And you start to become those things that you actually say. It's a thing that says in psychology that your brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. So if, in fact, that you tell yourself a lie over and over and over again, like, you'll actually begin to believe it. So I'm just saying, it makes sense to just say, all right, well, listen, I know I may not be the smartest, the tallest, the strongest, and the fastest, or the best at this. So let me just believe the opposite, and then naturally your behavior will kind of start to catch up to that.
Gotcha.
Thanks.
Real quick before I ask my next question, I heard something in there about y'all having kids.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Say it again.
I said I heard something in there about y'all having kids.
See,
yeah, some point,
guys. This
is our
family. Hey, so, I'm just waiting on. I'm waiting on. I was waiting on y'all to have kids.
Right?
Oh, exactly. I was waiting on y'all.
Next question.
All right. So the next question, what would be some advice that you would give to someone? It could be established or up and coming. That somebody that might want to start their own business or whatever. What would be some advice that to somebody that may have lost their business during the pandemic? What's some advice that you would give them to like encourage them, to keep them going and motivate them to not give up?
You want to take it? Or should I take it first?
No, you should go first, because I almost lost my mind during this pandemic.
Yeah, I think 3 things, and I'm a firm believer by this, and this is how I've always lived my life. Like, I have never had anything easy. It's always been a kick and the scratch and the pull and the fight for every single thing I had. So there's 3 words that I use that I live by. That's like the moniker for my whole entire life. Stay the course. It's not sexy. It's not super deep. Like, it's not some philosophical things. You'd be amazed the stuff that you can get done and the stuff that you can get accomplished if you just stick with something long enough. And the challenge with most people is that they just don't give themselves enough time to reap all of the stuff that they're planting. It's crazy. Most people want to be able to plant a seed today and you want to see a harvest like now. It's going to take years. Like, it's stuff that I did years ago that I'm probably just getting a return on investment like today. And so for everybody out there, you know, maybe you lost, you know, your business in the middle of this whole entire pandemic. Like, yo, it's not the end. Like, I think it's a quote by John Maxwell. He says, either I win or I learn. There's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as losing. So even if, you know, I felt like this thing wasn't successful, I lost my business, most importantly, what is the lesson that was learned? I think a lot of times, specifically, we see stuff on social media. You see everybody out here grinding, everybody eating. Just know that, everybody's not posting their failures. That's important to know. But I think also on the back end, just to know, like, yo, I literally have the power to be able to create something that has never been done. And I know that I have the skill set in the brain. Now, it's going to take some time. You're going to fall down. You're going to bump your head. Like, that's okay. Like, that's a part of the process. But people who start at the top never realize what they missed at the bottom. And there are some lessons that you need to learn at the bottom. Like how do you bounce back? Look, knowing your numbers, having a marketing strategy, all that stuff is important. But the number one thing that you're going to need, I wish I could say how I feel, but let's just say this. You're going to need some testicular fortitude to make it in business. Like, you're going to have to stomach some ugly loss.
You're going to need some balls.
I'm talking about.
Just say it.
I didn't know if this was a PG. I didn't know if this was a PG-13 or something. So I just said.
I said we're going to keep it 100 on here.
No, like, for real, you're going to need that. But then if you don't have it, there are so many times where I have so many ideas and he has to say to me, focus on this one thing first. Execute this one thing first. And I think something that I would say to somebody that feel like they have lost their business, I felt like I was losing my business, but it was just that I had
especially when you had to return all that money to people who ended up canceling because of the COVID. It
was so much stuff that was happening all at one time, and I was like, God, there is no I had a week where I just cried. I was like, God, there is no freaking way that you opened up this door and gave me this building to strip me of it. And to strip me of it this soon. Like, I felt like somebody had said, I'm taking your dog. I'm not going to equate that to a baby, but that building is my baby. So for somebody to be like, you can't go and do what you want with your baby and share it with everybody else, that hurt me so much. And I was like, Michael, why do I feel like
I said,
I'm just losing everything.
Welcome to Entrepreneurship 101.
Like,
figure it out.
What is going on? So to somebody that feels like they're losing their business or that you lost your business, you didn't lose it. It's not lost. It may be put on pause, or you may have to shift to something else. Like, I realized, yes, I want to do productions in certain types of events, but I am in love with intimate events and things that are really, really detailed, but are significant. So you don't lose. I have a mantra, and it's I can and I will. It sits on my desk every day. I can and I will. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Excuse me. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen today. No, something is in my eye.
I say, look, sometimes I do. You had those flashbacks, and I'll be like, yo, you wake up in a cold sweat, like, man.
After I cried that 1 week, I ain't crying no more. I said, this is it. He'd be like, you all right? I'm fine. I know it's going to work.
Words of Mary, I cried my last tear.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
But you'll have to shift. I can and I will. So that doesn't mean today. That doesn't mean right now. Like, I know any type of success that I've gotten or that I've had, any type of recognition, anybody that has reached out to me, any incoming clients, anybody that's like, oh, I love your space, or I love your work. Shoot, I love your news feed or on social media, whatever. That's because I took the time to build piece by piece. And sometimes it's just me. I ain't got no help. So it doesn't mean, and I think a lot of times you look at social media and you look at not just social media, but you look at people that are doing things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. People are operating in the same way that you see yourself operating, because you have this big vision in your head, and there's somebody in the event industry, in the venue industry, in the speaking industry, in the digital media industry, and they're on year 15, but all you see is the success.
Yeah, you don't see the process.
You see the success of year 15. You don't see the success of year 4, of year 1. I haven't even had my event space for a year. So I'm not expecting my event space to be doing the numbers or to be doing all these other things that somebody else is doing that's had an event space for 5 or 6 years. Doesn't mean that I don't have goals or I haven't set goals for myself, but I'm focusing on what I have to do. I think it's a quote that's like, just because you're going slow or something like that. Basically, your timing. And a lot of times people think that, okay, I have a business, I have an LLC, and everything is filed. I got an EIN number, I'm filing taxes. I'm about to do these numbers. And it's not like that. You have to build brick by brick. So
hurry up and slow down.
Right. So if you feel like you're losing your business, you're not losing your business. It don't matter how slow you go, as long as you keep going. Don't stop. You're not losing. You're shifting. And you're going to reinvent your business so many times before you get to year 10 and you're in the success of your life. And even then, you still want to go higher. There's still more goals and different things that you want to do. So I can and I will. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. ATM. Adrian the motivator. Okay, ATM.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
Where we at on time?
We got a couple more minutes.
All right. We had this talk on the last podcast, on the last episode. The vaccine. Y'all getting it?
No.
I gotta see what it do first.
I said the same thing.
No, you said you weren't getting it like Michael.
Okay, here's my logic. I said I had COVID, right? I had it already.
You had the vid.
Listen,
all y'all had.
Listen to this logic, guys. I want y'all to listen to this.
You know, and I survived. I'm alive. I'm here. So if I already had it, and you know, I'm cool now. So what's the point of me getting the vaccine if the vaccine is supposed to be to prevent you from getting it? But if I already had it, why I need to get it?
What?
Exactly.
That's way above my pay grade.
The vaccine is supposed to prevent you from getting it, right?
Right.
I already had it, and I'm fine. Like, I'm cool. I'm alive. So why do I need to go get it for something?
So are you not gonna get it again? Is what you're saying? Like, you're saying because I already had it, then I can't get it again.
That's what you're trying to say.
But the vaccine also as well. It's supposed to stop you from getting it, but you still can get it again.
Yeah.
You just won't have like all of the symptoms and stuff. So you still can get it again. So I'm just like, well,
yeah.
If I still can get it and I haven't had it yet, I'm just like, I'm gonna let nature take its course. But at the same time, I don't knock anybody out there that's like, no, like you see people out here going go get it. I'm cool with that. I'm just saying, for me, I just made the choice to say, I think I'm gonna pass on this because here's the thing that I know. They come up with all these vaccines and stuff, and then 20 years later, you see a commercial like, "Did you take the COVID-19 vaccine?" Like, yes, I did.
Do you have?
And then you're entitled to some compensation. You know what? I'm good with that.
I'm not gonna lie. In the back of my mind,
but true.
In the back of my mind, I was like, I could possibly like cash out if I get this in the next 10 years.
But what's going to be the effects?
Exactly. So that's my thing. I don't know what the long-term effects are going to be, and they don't know either.
That's what
So I've been trying to educate myself on it. But I do feel like a part of me is like, you have to do a lot of traveling this year. So maybe you should consider it. And then the other half of me is like,
I'm good, love.
just do the extra stuff that you've been doing. According to him, I'm just so extra because I asked him to wash his hands when he come in, which
That's
even
not
before
true.
the pandemic, I just
That's
thought
not
that
true.
was common
She's like,
sense.
yo, take these 16 vitamins. I said, dog, you can't be taking cocktail like I got a disease or something.
It's one vitamin that he has to take. It has elderberry, vitamin C, I think magnesium and zinc, and it's a gummy. They tell you to take 3 at a time, and he just be over here dying like, oh my God.
Wait, what
I took it the other day. He ain't took a vitamin in 3 days. But he going outside talking to people. We don't have time for that.
Just take
Because
it.
if you bring Rona back
take
here,
it.
you got to go back to where you got it from.
Well, I tell everybody, listen, I pay my tithes, so I should be good, I think.
You covering
I pay my tithes, so I should be good.
No, that's not.
That's how I'm looking at it, man.
You know, it's too many strands for you to say that because you had the COVID, you ain't gonna get it.
No, they just gotta do more research. I'm not taking that wave.
I'm gonna leave that to y'all.
Yeah, and
That's above my pay grade.
Glad what you're referring to is that once you get it, once you have coronavirus, then what happens is within that first 90-day window, you can't get it again. But after that, you can get it again. And you don't know if it's going to be the same, worse, or you don't have any symptoms at all.
It'd be like symptoms is that you might be bleeding, you might have an ulcer, you might catch this, you might get this, you might be dizzy, I might die. I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna just for right now, again, that stuff is a way above my pay grade. I try to stay in my area of expertise, but I leave it up to the doctors and all those who know exactly what they supposed to be doing. And I just say, look, I'm just gonna stay out of it. I'm just gonna continue to pray, continue to keep doing what I'm doing.
This is me though. I'm just scared of needles. I don't like needles.
Oh no, I ain't scared of
needles. I just like y'all said, it's not enough information. I always say, any doctors that's out there, please give me more information. I want to know if I'm going to take this shot. I need to make sure that I'm not going to die later. That's all.
Yeah, like the second and third wave, I might think about taking it, but not the first.
Now it's the third wave. The last episode, it was the second wave.
No, I'm just saying.
Too many ways.
All right, do you have anything else to ask the Nelsons before we?
I got a few more in me, but go ahead if you ain't got nothing else.
Wait, I have a question for you though, Mike. You got a program, don't you?
Which one?
Which one you want to put out there right now?
Yeah, so we got 2. So we have 2 programs going right now, and this is why I'm telling you that when your back is up against the wall, you got to start thinking as far as creativity. Like, look, what can I do what's a product or something that I can create one time that's going to be able to pay me for forever? So I have 2 programs. One is called speakermomentum.com. As a matter of fact, Lad, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot this person's name, but there was a person who said, yo, Lad is your cousin. Yo, they actually enrolled. I forgot their name, but I'll tell you a little bit later when it comes to my mind. But yeah, so we have a training program for speakers who are looking specifically saying, look, I want to get booked specifically during this pandemic. In the education market, we got a 4-week mini course to be able to show you the practical steps, how to be able to do that. If you want more information on that and just saying, look, Mike, like, that's good that you telling me that. Just go to speakermomentum.com and just see what other speakers who have gone through the course, see all the things that they have said about the course. And then we have another course. It's Speaker Momentum, but it's like on steroids. It's called Speak in the Education Market. It is a 10-week program. I'm going to show you from A to Z of how you can position yourself to get booked. So, again, my challenge is for everybody who's going to be hearing this and watching this. Here's my business challenge for you. What product or service can you create one time that's going to pay you for the rest of your life? You just need to create it one time. And so, again, create something one time so it can help you, financially, of course, and then you could be able to help the people in your niche market.
All right. I think that concludes this episode. I don't have any more questions. But before we go off, plug your guys' social medias, where they can find you at, and all of that stuff.
Want to hear something funny? I don't know my social media. I gotta look.
I told you that stuff.
So it's
Bro,
I know
you
mine.
got like you got like 30. You got like 30 Jones. Like what's?
I have one main page, one main business
Adrian got like
page.
6 pages though.
No, I have one. I have. Y'all done?
Go
All
ahead.
right, my fault.
I have one main business page. No, I have two business pages. I have one main business page. That's the event planning page, event and wedding planning page, and then I have the event space. So the event.
That's a little too complicated.
The event planning page is _ Adrian Nicole, and then the event space is Adrian's Event Studio on Instagram. And on Facebook, you can reach me at Adrian Nicole Wedding and Events, and then Adrian Nicole Event Studio. So it's still my name. You can still find me, search me.
You have a website?
I do. www.adriannicole.com. Would you like to email me? Because I've got that too. You want to text me? 484-452-4034. Book this event at 2155 Ridge Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. There's free parking.
Summertime is coming up. You know, everything about to be open up, so definitely go follow her and book your events. Mike, we want to plug your social medias.
Yeah, I don't have 36 different aliases. I don't got time for that. I just say, look, we're just going to rock out with everything. Instagram, I am at Mike the Motivator. Facebook, it is Mike Nelson. My website is MikeNelsonSpeaks.com. So feel free to slide in my DMs. Feel free. Oh, I'm on Twitter. I'm sorry. M. Nelson Speaks. I'm on TikTok at Mike the Motivator too. So feel free to follow me on all my social platforms. You got any questions or concerns?
Y'all got any LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn too at Mike Nelson B. I'm on everything except.
My LinkedIn is sad.
I'm on everything except the only thing I'm not on is Snapchat. Everything else I'm on YouTube. I'm on everything else except that. So.
I'm on TikTok. You can follow me on TikTok. Hey, Adrian Nicole. Hey.
So yes,
be careful how you slide into them DMs.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Business purposes only.
Well, that's what I assumed. I'm sorry, but yes, if it's business purposes,
these type things.
Yes, go ahead and slide into my DM and ask me any questions. And and
we'll be sending you an invoice.
I look forward to hearing from everybody that is out there.
So we just want to thank the Nelsons for being a part of it.
So do we send an invoice now, or should we do it later for being on the show?
You want to charge us?
What the? Well, this episode will not be airing. Thank you so much for
No, but thank you guys again. This has been another episode of Issa Sibling Thang podcast. Once again, I am your host, Lad, aka Lad Lizzie Dollar.
And I'm Jazzy J.
And see you next time.
Boom.
Bye.
Hey.